What's up guys, Groovy Guitar Dude here with a beginner guitar tutorial for Stuck With You by Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber. If this video helps you out, hit that like and subscribe button, and let me know down in the comments below what are the songs by Ariana Grande or Justin Bieber that you want to learn on guitar. Guys, the first thing that you want to know to play Stuck With You on guitar is that in order to get rid of some bar chords and keep this song as beginner friendly as possible, we're going to capo up to 1st fret. And if you don't have a capo, I'll have a link to get this one for free right up here. The next thing that you want to know to play Stuck With You on guitar is the structure of this song. We're going to start out with the verse, then go to chorus, then verse and chorus again, then we're going to have a bridge, and then we're going to finish up with one last chorus to take us out of the song. And guys, the last thing that you want to know before we dive into Stuck With You is the 5 chords that you need to play this song. The first one is G, the next one is C, the next one is D, the next one is this funky E minor 7 variation. It looks like this. And the last one is a B minor 7. And I have a beginner way to play that B minor 7, as well as chord charts for all the other chords in the pinned comment below for those of you who need them. And with all that in mind, guys, let's dive into Stuck With You. Man, I've been gone for a little bit, and this song is the perfect one to come back to. So fun to play, pretty beginner friendly, even if you haven't tackled much finger picking before. This is actually a great place to start. Fun song to play, very beautiful song, and I'm stoked to share it with you guys. So, most of this song is actually going to be one chord progression and one picking pattern. Now there's a few little kind of details that we'll get into in just a second, but all of our verses and all of our choruses are going to follow this chord progression right here. We're going to start with a G, then we're going to go to B minor 7, then we're going to go to C, then we're going to go to that funky E minor 7 chord. It's a little bit of a variation. It sounds like this. Just like that, and then we're going to go straight from there to a D chord. And that is going to be the chord progression right there that repeats through most of this song. Everything except for the bridge is going to be that chord progression and the picking pattern that I'm about to share with you. For the picking pattern that we're going to be using for most of this song, we're going to be using something called a bass note. If you don't know what a bass note is, it's just the lowest note of whatever chord that you're playing. So for the chords we're using for this progression, we'll start with our G chord. Our bass note is going to be on our low E string. For our B minor 7, our bass note is going to be on our A string. For our C chord, our bass note is also going to be on our A string. For our E minor 7 variation, our bass note is going to be on our D string. And then for our D chord, our bass note is going to be also on our D string. And that's all the chords in this song, and you really just need to know that again for this picking progression that plays through all of our verses and choruses, which is most of the song. So now that we all know what bass notes are, let's take a look at the picking pattern that we're going to be using for Stuck With You. We'll use our G chord as our example. For each chord, we're going to go bass note, B and high E at the same time, bass note, B and high E at the same time. There are a few exceptions to this, and we'll go through those in just a second, but that is going to be what the entire picking pattern is based around. So we're just going to apply that picking pattern to each chord. So like I said, there are some exceptions, so let's walk through this chord progression and find where those exceptions are. So let's start with our G chord. We just did this one, but we're going to go low E, B and high E at the same time. Low E, B and high E at the same time. Then we're on to our next chord, but before we do that, we're actually going to do a little bass line walk up into that next chord. Now, if you're a beginner, you don't have this down quite yet, if this is seeming intimidating, don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about this bass line walk up, but if you feel comfortable with it, it adds a lot to the song. So once we leave this G chord, what we're going to do is we're going to pick an open A string, then we're going to pick a first on the A string, and that's going to walk us up into our next chord, which is the B minor 7. For the B minor 7, again, we're going to use this same exact picking pattern, except we're going to change up our bass note to be the bass note for the B minor 7. So for this one, we're going to go A, B and high E at the same time, A, B and high E at the same time. From there, we're going to do another little bass line walk up into our next chord, our C chord. So for this one, we're going to go second on the A string, and then open D string, and then we're going to go into our C chord. For this one, again, we're using that same picking pattern we've been using the whole time. No exception here, nothing different. We're going to go A, B and E, A, B and E. And then we're going to do a little bit of something different here. We're going to take this down to this E minor 7. We're not going to do any kind of bass walk-ups into this chord. This is just going to be straight up into it from the C. And what we're going to do here is we're actually going to split up our picking pattern in between the last two chords, this E minor 7 and the D chord. So let me walk you through where that split happens. We're going to start here with our E minor 7 shape. What we're going to do is we're going to go D, B and high E, D, and that's where the split happens. We're going to take that off and go into our D chord, and we're going to go D and then B and high E, just like that. So we split that picking pattern between those last two chords almost exactly in half. Let me go over that last part one more time because I know it's a little bit funky, a little bit tricky. So we got that E minor 7 there. These are just the last two chords. We're splitting it between there. We're splitting the picking pattern between there. We're going to go D, B and high E, D, and then we're going to change to our D chord, D, B and high E. Just like that. And that right there, guys, is the picking pattern that's going to repeat over and over again all the way through all of our verses and our choruses on Stuck With You. So guys, I know that seems like a whole lot, so let's do one more quick little guided walkthrough before we actually do a full playthrough. So we'll start here with our G chord. We're going to go E, B and E, 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 B and E. Then we're going to have this little bass line walk up into the B minor 7 chord. We've got open A, first A, B minor 7, A, B and E, A, B and E. Bass line walk up into the C chord. We've got a second on A, open D, and then we're into the C chord. A, B and E, A, B and E. Then we're going to go straight into the E minor 7 chord, that variation there. We're going to go D, B and E, D, and then we're going to switch to the D chord, D, B and E. Just like that, and that picking pattern right there is going to repeat through all of our verses and all of our choruses. So everything except for the bridge. And guys, I know that seems like a lot again, but the bridge is actually super easy. So if you can get this part down, this is most of the song. So guys, I'm going to play through this a couple of times very slowly without me talking so that you can make sure you have all the right stuff in all the right places. Then after that, I'll play through it a couple of times full speed so that you can match it up with the speed of the song. So slowly a couple times first will look about like this. And guys, a couple of times through the picking pattern that's going to repeat all the way through all of the verses and choruses on Stuck With You will look about like this full speed. guys, the only other thing that you know to play stuck with you on guitar is the bridge. Now the bridge is super easy. It definitely makes up for that verse and chorus picking pattern being a little bit fiddly. So all we're gonna have here is a very simple chord progression and a very simple strum pattern. Our chord progression is gonna be C, G, back to C, and down to D. The strum pattern that we're going to be using for each one of those chords is going to be 8 down strums for each chord, but we're going to split it right in half. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to switch 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch to C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that, guys, and that is the bridge. That's it. It's that simple. Just 8 down strums for each chord, divided up halfway into 4. So 2 sets of 4 down strums for each one of those chords. Super easy, especially when you compare it to that little bit tricky picking pattern that we're using for the rest of the song. But very fun, very easy. But yeah, guys, a couple of times through that bridge, chord progression, and strum pattern without me talking will look about like this. Guys, that is everything that you need to know to play Stuck With You on guitar. As always, if you have any questions, you can hit me up in the comments down below. I'm usually pretty quick getting back to those. And again, if this video helped you out, hit that subscribe button. I have about 750 other guitar and ukulele lessons on this channel, and I usually try to post at least 3 to 5 new lessons every single week. So if you're learning guitar or ukulele, there cannot be a more perfect channel for you to check out. If you want to see where I'm traveling, what songs I'm jamming on, or pictures of my dog, you can hit up my Instagram at the Groovy Guitar Dude. Link for that will be in the description below. And lastly, guys, if you want to support the channel and get your name in the credits at the end of each new video, you can hit up my Patreon at patreon.com/thegroovyguitardude. Link for that will be in the description below. Guys, I'm back. So if you can tell, I'm in a different place, and that's why I haven't posted any new tutorials in a while, is because Michelle and I have been in the process of moving, which has been an absolute blast, and we're super happy with our new place. You guys will definitely be seeing more of it in the very near future, but we've been super busy with the move. So I thought this was the perfect song to come back with because it's super popular right now, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are stoked to be learning it. It's a lot of fun, and it's still pretty beginner friendly. I know it may seem intimidating because it is a finger picking song, or you can play it probably picking with a pick and kind of doing like a pick strum type of thing, but if it was me, I would finger pick it. The way I've been playing it has been finger picking, the same way that I just shared with you guys. I think it's a lot of fun, and it really is fairly beginner friendly. Like I said, probably the trickiest part of this song is that B minor 7 chord, because it is a bar chord, and some of you may not have bar chords down just yet, but again, I will have a beginner way to play that B minor 7 in the pinned comment below if you need it. So fun song, pretty easy to play. The other thing that's easy about this song, or makes it a fairly easy song in my opinion, is that once you get that picking pattern down, it repeats through pretty much the whole song, everything except for the bridge. So if you can get that picking pattern down, all you got to do is repeat that for about 99% of the song, aside from that one little tiny bridge part that comes in towards the end. Everything else is just that picking pattern with that chord progression repeated through the whole entire song. So guys, this is a fun song. It's beautiful. I love seeing these two collaborate. It's just a great song. It's a hit. It's an instant hit. I knew it as soon as I heard it. I knew it was going to be really popular. I knew a lot of people were going to want to learn it, and I wanted to learn it as soon as I heard it as well. So I had a lot of fun learning this one. I hope you guys have a lot of fun learning it as well. Hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see y'all soon.